Eric Bakker, thanks for coming back. We're going to talk about lactose intolerance. I think I may well have made a few videos on lactose intolerance in the past. So, is it an enzyme deficiency? It is lactase deficiency. Can enzyme deficiency cause lactose intolerance? Yep. So, it is a deficiency. So, if you look around the world, I just had a look online at a map of the globe and to see where the deficiencies of lactase really are and who's got the lactose problems. And you can clearly see that Asian and African people have a very high predominance of lactose intolerance, 60 to 80%. Those people traditionally never really had cows or dairy in their diet, okay? And if we look at the Europeans, it's between 5 to 17% have a lactose problem. And Europeans, also Australian and the Aussies and the Kiwis, we tend to have a much lesser issue, just like the Europeans do. We've kept cattle and sheep and had milk here in Australia and New Zealand for a long time, but not so in a lot of other countries. Asian people have the highest, I think. North America, I think, is around roughly between 30 to 45% of North Americans have an issue with this enzyme. So it can cause bloating, gas, diarrhea with some people. But look, it doesn't mean the end of the world. All it really means is you need to cut right back on dairy or switch to different types of milk or cheese that you're drinking. If you do like milk, and I love milk, but I don't really have it much at all in my life, except a dash in my nice espresso coffee. It's about the limit of my milk consumption. And I do like a little bit of cheese here and there, but apart from that, I don't really drink any milk or have any dairy products in my diet. But I think they're a very good adjunct for many people for protein and calcium and other minerals, particularly if you've got a really high quality milk, which is not pasteurized or homogenized. And it's straight from the cow. But what do you do if you've got a problem with bloating and farting and diarrhea and you have got a milk issue? Well, back off. Take dairy out your diet. You don't need it as you get older, especially when you're my age. You don't need to have milk in your diet at all. In fact, most people globally don't even ever have any dairy products in their diet. It might seem quite foreign to you sitting there with a milkshake and a big block of cheese or a cheeseburger in front of you eat right now, but most people never eat dairy, okay? If you look at the global population, lots and lots of people have never had milk or cheese in their diet ever. So it just seems to be the Westerners that really love this stuff. Take it out. And if you really want to have dairy in your diet, and you don't want to take it out, just cut way back, especially the milk. The milk's the big one, I find. So lactose is a sugar of galactose and glucose bound together. So it's two simple sugars. And the body has to split those with an enzyme called lactase to bust. Anything with ASE or A's on the end is often an enzyme. So when we break the lactose down, we can normally consume the galactose and the glucose for energy, but many people can't, and they improperly digest in the gut and create that massive bloating and diarrhea. And now, if you notice for 2 hours after you've had milk or a dairy that you get that cramping or bloating, it's probably time to cut dairy out or to take enzymes to see if they mitigate these symptoms. Okay, but yeah, definitely enzyme deficiencies can cause this problem. All right. As you get older, your enzymes drop off by default, and many people, as they get older, notice that they're having more of an intolerance to cow's milk. So just take some enzymes and see what happens. If it doesn't work for you, then just drop the dairy and move to high calcium sources of food, and there's plenty of them out there. One of my favorites is sardines with the bones in it. Also, sesame seed, which contains, I believe, 14 times more calcium per weight than milk does. Broccoli, brassicas contain a lot of calcium. Broccoli is a good source of calcium. So there are many vegan sources of calcium that you can consume. You don't have to have cow's milk, right? They had these stupid advertisements on TV in New Zealand where a school teacher would dip a piece of chalk in milk or some liquid, and then just show you how that the milk was good for the bones, and she'd break the chalk knife saying to the kids, see here, it's getting into the bones. But actually, the crazy thing is the countries with the highest milk consumption have the highest osteoporosis rates, and the countries with the lowest dairy consumption globally have got the lowest osteoporosis rates. So that woman is wrong. We're told lies. We are. If you want my free report, the 17-page Candida Crusher report, click on the link below. Catch up in the next video. Thanks for tuning in.